My name is Ting, your NLP and hypnosis trainer from Vision Solutions. Now, today we are going to talk again about the NLP topic, NLP in the topic of language. So, from last week, actually, from my previous video, actually, I'm talking about the concept of and also but. And then I show to you how these two actually carry a very different meaning, and then it carry a different assumptions to the listener when we talk to them. Now, for example, before I start what I'm going to say today, I would like to ask you about these questions. So, when you go out with your friends, have you ever talked to someone and out of a sudden, your friend get annoyed of what you have talked? Or on the reverse, when you talk to someone and you get annoyed by your statement that made by your friend. So have you ever had this experience? And I would like to ask you, why is that so? When we say something and then our listener get annoyed, or the talker says something, the friend says something, and we as a listener, we get annoyed, it's just because the people who do the talking actually doesn't pay attention to what they say. So it's either it's you or either it's your friend. So the listener will get annoyed because people who never pay attention to the word that they use. Now, let's see. What is the thing that actually carry inside our language? What is our language actually carry? I give you an example now. There is a mountain. There is a mountain behind John's house, but he never noticed it. So let's say this is a very simple English sentence. Now from here, right, we in NLP, we want us to know from this segment how we're going to identify the language. So when we're talking about the language, it's just like we back to the English class. From here, we first thing we see, where is the nouns? So what is the nouns here? So there is a mountain behind John's house, but he never noticed it. So where is the nouns actually coming into this sentence? So now we can say there's a mountain. Mountain is a noun. Yeah. John is a person, so therefore he is a noun. And house also, then house. Also a noun. And he here, also a noun. And then finally is it. So can you notice in a sentence we actually carry a lot of things inside a sentence or a statement. So there is a mountain behind John's house, but he never noticed it. Nouns actually happen. Yeah, we have a lot of nouns. And then do we have any adjective? For example, adjective. Do we have any adjective? Actually, we do not have any adjective. But there is a mountain. So here, a mountain. So what does that mean? A mountain. So means actually this is only one mountain behind his house. And then we do not say that there is two mountains. We don't say like that. There is a mountain, only one mountain behind John's house. So we will know from here, then we see is only one mountain. And then also we can see another word describe, yeah, is behind. So what does that mean behind? Behind actually is the Direction, yeah? It's the direction of the mountain. So we know that the house is actually sitting here. And behind the house, there's a mountain. And then that mountain is actually not on the left, it's not on the right, or not in front of the house. So we know that there is a behind. John's house, there is a mountain. And he never. So what does this never mean? Never, what does this mean? Never. Never actually meaning time. So, mean time, what does that mean by time? He never noticed it. He never noticed it. What does that mean? He never noticed it. Not even one time he noticed there is a house behind his house. So why people will never notice a mountain? A mountain is actually huge, and then he never noticed it. Because as a human psychology, we get used to whatever we are wanted to do, and then we do a lot of deletions. Yeah, we do a lot of deletions into our surrounding, and that's why we will never notice something actually behind our house. So, for example, let's say you pay attention to the surrounding of where you live. Maybe you live in a taman, the housing estate. Can you go to count how many red cars in your taman? Or have you ever seen there is a special things that appear in the taman? But sometimes we do not, because we want to go home, we want to go to the office, we just drive out of the taman or drive in the taman. We doesn't pay attention to anything beside the way that we want to go. And we actually delete a lot of information. Therefore, he never noticed it. So what do we mean by notice here? Notice is using our eye to see. So notice is our awareness or awareness. So another meaning of awareness is actually using our eye to see. So the awareness is coming into a 5 senses. So what is the 5 senses that we have? That we can see from the previous video that I have actually explained a lot on the 5 senses in terms of psychology. What we see, what we hear, how we smell, how we taste, and then how we touch, and then what is feeling inside. So we have 5 senses, yeah? So another one that I would like to bring into your attention is this. It's but. From my previous video, actually I'm talking about this but. So what does that mean but? When we go back to this statement, yeah, there is a mountain behind John's house, but he never noticed it. So you can see from this example, you can actually very clear. This but actually, what does it mean? It actually nullify everything that is in front. But he never noticed it. So with the speaker who say this, there is a mountain behind John's house. So in his mind, he assumed John actually see the mountain. Then when he found out that John never see that mountain, never noticed that mountain, therefore he said but. He never noticed it. So whenever there is a sentence come with a word but, this word is a conjunction, is a connection, actually nullify whatever people say in front. Yeah. So from here we actually can see, in terms of NLP language, we pay attention on all these things. Because when we pay attention on all these things, then we can actually notice there is a mountain behind John's house, but he never noticed it. So we will have the idea, John's house is like this. Behind that, there is a mountain. And then we can say, we can put another word, a high mountain, for example. We can put a high mountain. So this is an adjective. We will put an adjective onto the mountain. So this is a high mountain. Yeah, then this is a high mountain. And so from here, NLP language, it helps us to really understand the statement of another person. So now you roughly know about this. Let's say I put up another example for you. Then that is where some people, they get annoyed when we say something And then even we say in the office, when we have a meeting with our boss, when they say like that, then we can get annoyed easily. So now, for example, let's say in the office, the boss, your boss says, only the hardworking people produce good result, good sales. Now, this is a statement. A lot of people, they will get annoyed by this statement. So in over this statement, right, only the hardworking people produce good result or good sales. So in this statement, right, the assumption hidden inside this statement is hardworking produce good result, good sales. So if the person listen to this, if the person is, it actually also carries the opposite meaning, So not hardworking, no good result, no good sales. So that means if you have not a very good sales, you do only little sales, not many sales, so your boss will categorize you as not hardworking enough. So let's say you have been working very hard, and then due to some unforeseen circumstances, the factor that you cannot control, you cannot produce sales. So do you feel rejected by this statement? Only the hardworking people produce good sales. So that means when the person say like this, it actually offended the people. The people who are very hardworking but then produce no good sales will get offended. So the person will have a very narrow mind, which it says the result of a good sales is actually very hardworking. But we know in terms of corporates or sales line, and whatever thing you do, hardworking is only part of the solutions. That for you to have a good sales or good results, you need to have many other factors that coming in. Therefore, when a person say like that, it actually produces a lot of assumption inside the statement, which the person, the speaker, doesn't pay attention if that person has never been trained. But if for you pay attention to all this, then you will not say this statement, because you will know when you say this statement, only the hardworking people produce good sales. The people in your corporations, when they are working day in and day out, they are very hardworking, but they produce no good sales results, they will get very offended, because they will think that whatever that I do is still not good in your sight. And then who is having a good result, they may not work so hard. Because, for example, if you have been to a motivation talks and seminars, or you have been reading a lot of motivation books, you will encounter one story saying about the car salesman. When the car salesman entertained old uncle wearing very simple dress, wearing the slippers, and then there is nobody actually wanted to entertain that uncle, And then this young man actually go to entertain that uncle, and then help him to know about the car inside the showrooms. And at the end of the story, if you have read all this, then you know that the uncle actually buy a lot of car from the young man, because that uncle actually is a very rich farmer. He need a lot of car and trucks for his farming business. So therefore, he buy a lot of cars. And then from there, this young man, he got a very good sales result. But actually doesn't mean that he actually very hardworking. He just showed the integrities. He just showed the concern. He just showed the care and love. So therefore, good results doesn't mean that he's only hardworking. Some people is actually very hardworking but never have a good result. So we as a manager of the company, department head, then if we know the language actually carry a lot of assumption, yeah, we don't simply say, we pay attention to whatever words that come out from our mouth. Because whatever words that come out from our mouth is carry a lot of hidden. These are hidden. These are superficial. These are superficial. These are deep meaning. This is a very deep meaning. Something is inside. These are superficial. These are surface. So when we say something is a very surface, of course, we annoy people. And if we are aware of all these consequences, now you need to pay attention, learn how to say good words. So whatever words that you say is actually bring very positive encouragement to your team, so that your team can work very hard. Because they know they fight for you, they fight for the organizations, and then during this COVID-19, and then the time is actually quite challenging throughout the whole world, yeah, and then your team will be doing better. And then we will be having a very good time together, even though the time is tough. Yeah, the saying say only the tough is going on, is carry on. Yeah, so this is a language that we use it every day, every moment, without paying attention to it. So I hope you learn. I say I hope you learn means that maybe you don't learn anything. So I need to refresh this. I know you've learned something today. I know you find it very useful to you. I know when you use this, your life will be very different. So if you are the businessman, so if you are the manager of your department, or you are the salesperson when you go out to see clients, your potential client or your existing client, you will definitely benefit from me, your NLP and hypnosis trainer online, by knowing the NLP language. And when your words that you say is carry the directions, it's very directive, direct to what you want your listener to capture. And I hope you come and learn some more from me. Go back to my previous video to learn more, and if can, when it's possible, when we have the physical class, come to my class and learn the whole set of NLP and hypnosis.